Alright everybody, welcome back to the stream. Good morning to those of you who have morning. Good evening to those who have evening. Anyway, hello Schmidtcopter, welcome back to the stream. I hope you have your tea ready, your Apple Pencil and whatnot. Alright, so while we're waiting for more of our regulars, hello Nervin, welcome, good morning. So today is our final stream for the first kind of part of the summer of world building series that we're kind of doing here. And as such, we will also be talking probably about what we're gonna be doing next. But today we're drawing a farm. Don't really know why. I think Nervin suggested that, and it's a good idea because farming is kind of universal and it's everywhere. And in our world building series we'll also have some farms, both on the land and everywhere, underwater, in the sky. And if you want to draw along, of course you can do a Stardew Valley farm of yours or whatever. It's everybody needs a farm, exactly, Nervin. So farming, as you remember, we have this summer of world building series for those who don't know, about the world, mostly where people mostly live in the air and on floating villages like the one you see on the screen right now. Schmidtcopter says, I can play Stardew Valley during the stream and that would be kind of appropriate. Also creative if you work on your farm layout. You can do that, sure. That's gonna be fun. But I, on the other hand, will be thinking about farms for three different nations, or like types of people. Also, I can't. There you go. Cleared the layer. So yeah, I will be doing it digitally again because I just want to practice digital drawing a little bit more. So let's see, we have our pencil here. Let's grab a color. So I'm thinking we're gonna be doing a farm, right? And we're gonna be doing the farm for kind of three different environments. So one would be in the air, one would be on the water, and one, I guess, underwater. We'll see how far we'll go in one stream with this. Maybe we'll just sketch three and then have one of them just finish up one of them with more details, maybe, or something like that. But how is everybody doing? Are you ready to draw along something? Nervin, I remember you wanted to do something along with watercolors, and Schmidtcopter, you also mentioned that you might draw along. So for the Nervin is tired. You can just take it easy then. Just doodle something. I think mindless doodles, like, you know, just whatever comes to mind is also cool. It kind of keeps your gets you going in a way. So farming in the air. Let's see. We can have like platforms with different crops, maybe hanging in some sort of like a balance on air balloons. That could be one idea. Norman says, I have my watercolor workbook here, which shows me a unicorn. Well, if it's a workbook, then guess you'll have to work on the unicorn. I wanted to draw. I'll try that. Helicopter, that's great. Finish first. Fake coffee first. Alright. No rush. So that could be one idea, but I don't really like that because, you know, from physics point of view, I mean, it doesn't really matter here that much. But you would need a lot of soil for crops, and then probably gonna be hard to manage. Although we had these where are they? These like floating things with like a whole ship on it, so theoretically it could be a farm. How fake is your coffee? Very fake. It's made of grains, acorns and stuff like that. No coffee beans. We used to drink that in my childhood as well with my grandmother. Maybe it would have like some sort of handles for the like sun to reflect. Yeah, chicory beans as well. Chicory. That's a little bit too sad for the start of this stream. Let's find something a little bit more fun. Okay. Let's maybe this one. Doesn't matter really. Anyway, back to our design process. So it could be like an air balloon with farming equipment under it, or like a zeppelin. Maybe with some reflectors or something like that. But I was thinking actually maybe it's like a bird farm. So it's like a floating in the air, like a bunch of racks maybe, or something like that, where birds can sit. Like this. Maybe something like that would be more fun, and then the birds can also fly around. I guess it's just like a gliding platform. Like a air barge, you know, something like that. I don't know. Maybe that will work. Like a little bird farm. There needs to be a human for size, I guess. Who's feeding the birds? What else would be appropriate in the sky except of birds? I like the idea of floating bird farm because it feels kinda unusual, but at the same time appropriate for the sky. What else can they grow there? Could be like a farm for plants that really need a lot of sun, because then you won't have any shade except of the clouds, maybe. Let's just move this stuff a little bit. This stuff as well. All right. So we can have some sort of like a bird farm or a regular farm. What other types of farms are there? Scarecrow on the water thingy to scare greedy water birds away. Wait, I will put a scarecrow here. But we're not in the water yet, I think. Maybe we can explore more of the air farming. I need to kind of let everybody know that it's in the sky. Something like that. Still a scarecrow is needed. I'm not sure a scarecrow on the bird farm is a good idea, because wouldn't all the birds be afraid of that? It could be a pigeon farm theoretically, with postal pigeons farming or something like that. Also, I prepared a little bit before the stream, and I have a few references, so if you're interested, just type !refs in the chat and you'll get the references. Some of them are really cool. Apparently, you know, Aztecs a few hundred years ago were like, they had these kind of floating farming islands on which they were farming like crazy. Kind of like this, they were farming in the swamps, like making these, putting some dirt on top, letting it rot together, and then it was very fertile soil. But this is for floating. I was thinking more in terms of what else can we do for the sky. Aren't they caged? The birds? Not, I mean, they could be. Maybe it's like a farm boat. Maybe it's some kind of little floating boat. With a lot of cages everywhere. But actually I want to draw it in perspective a little bit. Cows on a farm boat for steaks. Cows are heavy. You always want to put a heavy stuff in the air, like cows or ground. I don't say it's a bad idea in itself, but I'm trying to think in more of like what light stuff would be easier to grow. Goats. Goats are easier. They're not flying or anything, but at least they're smaller than cows. Like a little boat, and then it would have, well, it needs wings, of course. Obviously, every boat needs some wings, but more importantly, it needs cages, lots of cages, maybe hanging outside as well, because birds probably wouldn't care much if they're hanging inside. They're not scared of heights, probably. Something like this. Chicken or sheep for wool production and goats for dairy. Goat cheese is great. Or an insect farm, because all other animals went extinct and that's where you get protein from. Oh, that's a really good idea. An insect farm. That's genius. That's where we're heading anyway, I think, a little bit. Just cages everywhere. I'm watching too many travel food shows. Nervin says, yeah, you watch a lot of those. I watched a video yesterday on that topic. Actually, it was kind of like more critical in general on the whole food industry that taking over YouTube in a way, and partially also on people who are doing these travel food shows that, like, often enough they just use it as an exotic thing and kind of don't really care about the culture, but just you know, for Westerners, everything from outside of Western world is kind of unique food or unusual, and a lot of channels also just use that as the marketing strategy. Thinking about maybe like honeybee farm. Another floating kind of like a wing for the platform to stay afloat. Don't know if it helps in any way. Hey, that onion, welcome to the stream. Do you guys have insect foods in your local supermarket? I don't have it in the supermarket, but there is a network of cafes called Bagels and Beans, and there you can actually get a bagel with insects. Which is, I never tried it because I feel like if I don't like it, it's just a waste of money and food. Norman says, I wouldn't mind trying out some insects as long as they're already dead and cooked. We'll have cricket bread at least. Cricket protein powder for cooking. Oh, that's really forward looking. Don't think we have that stuff yet here in the Netherlands, at least. Maybe in the like special health shops, but regular supermarkets don't have it yet, at least. But I know that in some, like in Mexico for instance, you can just buy crickets on the street with some lime and chili powder, and you just eat them like, I don't know, like crackers or nuts on the go. Just wanted to remind myself how a honey bee farm looks like. So it's basically a box. Let's save it to our farming as well. Anyway, nervous as we're done. I saw once a protein bar with insects, but it was more like that's new by thingy and not really common. I also saw once a restaurant in a restaurant an insect burger, but that's rare. Medium rare. And maybe you can buy those in Asian supermarkets. Yeah, could be in Asian supermarkets, but I think it's just not there yet, kind of not as popular. But I know there are a lot of new startups that are doing insect farming and like harvesting protein from insects and trying to make meat out of that, basically. All right, farming on the water. Our second chapter. On the water, they can farm fish, for instance. I googled some fish farms and they look really, really cool from above. Like, look at these circles. So great. So basically it's like a circle and then there is a net underneath. So if we have our like some kind of little floating village, maybe it's this would be this circle. Maybe there is like a platform here. And there could be like a little farmhouse. Could be really shabby because it's made out of reed and just trash that's floating around, maybe. Needs a boat, of course. Something like that. Where do you leave that onion? Never heard of cricket bread or powder. Finland. Hyvä päivää. I might or might have added too many as. Who meant that? No, it was perfect. There are a lot of as in just. There's 5 as in 2 words. Crazy. There's like, maybe this is a small house for the boat and farming, and there is a bigger house on the back, or something like this. Maybe another thing could be if there is some like this farming area in the middle with the circles for water farms. The charmer finish. You, Nervin, you enjoyed it a lot when you studied. I remember you told me a few times how fun it was to learn Finnish. So there is this farming area, and then around it maybe there are just floating platforms. And on them there are just little houses, and I mean, this house is too big, but maybe if I break it in 2. Maybe some of these houses are just made from old boats. So it was fun, but also hard, and also I can only remember a few words, plus too many cases. But there is no gender for the words, right? At least there is that. Maybe there are these like kind of like lots around the pond. Kind of like a floating village on this on high legs. I don't know how to call it. What's the name? Pole? On the poles? Pole house? Pole house could be a street bar. Hey, Mosque, welcome to the stream. How is it going there? Alright, so maybe another one would be something like this, like a fish farming village in the middle of the sea. I kind of like this idea, or a lonely house as well. Also, it's kind of cool. Now I read that they have stopped making cricket bread because it didn't sell enough early this year. Moscow is doing sluggishly. You just maybe need some nice tea or coffee. Oops, almost dripped on the iPad. Sunday is a slug day anyway. Yeah, I can relate to that. I guess people really need to change their with the cricket bread and all that stuff. People really need to change their attitude towards it for it to be profitable. Coffee and energy drink is already in me, but energy drink has coffee in it. don't don't go crazy there. I can drink energy drinks. I think it's probably tied to the fact that uh, I didn't really like, my parents didn't really, obviously didn't like. No, actually, I can't say that. My mom even bought me an energy drink a couple of times when they just appeared, and when I was studying. But it was always like it. I don't know. It was always something special. So I think there is just emotions attached to it additionally, except of just the fact that it's an energy drink. So it's, I don't drink them usually, but once a few months I feel like I want it, and then I can eat it. It's kind of like with instant noodles. You don't eat them daily usually, or at least I don't. But once in a while, you really want some instant noodles, some of that umami flavor. I drink it once a year or two. It's just that sometimes you want a cold, strange thing. Lemonade must first be made. Yeah, you can also buy lemonade, right? Like, I think Nervan, by lemonade, Nervan means everything, like Coca-Cola. Alright, so now we're getting to the underwater farming, and I'm thinking they can farm kelp. We never drew underwater living areas though. But let's say people are living in sunken ships. Sunken? Sank? Sunked? The drowned ships. But how do they farm it? Do they just put, like, I don't know. Let's see. I found some kelp farms like this. So basically there is a something. I don't like fizzy drinks, but sometimes. I had basil lemonade a few days ago. It was quite good, but store-bought. Except beer. Does beer count as fizzy? It fizzes. So I guess it's a fizzy drink. Technically. So there are these kelp farms in, I think, in Korea, where they just dry kelp. I bet it smells disgusting. They dry. I think it's for food. I think they eat dried kelp. But this is kind of also on the water farming. Doesn't matter though. Let's just assume. Don't really like how this turned out. We're building the world, so what is kelp? Kelp is basically like seaweed. I think it's the most basic seaweed that you see everywhere. This is kelp. Basically like sea grass. Kelp me. What a weird sentence. So, okay, there could be like a little buoy here with maybe like a antenna or something. And then there is this line of things. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be another water farm, like on top of water, even if they grow seaweed. Or maybe we can just draw it from underwater. Or like from the side. Something like that. There's some water. There is a little boat. Maybe there are like stairs. There could be also like maybe drying racks of some sorts. Drying nets. I think we will at the end we will just combine the water related farms into like a one nice illustration for it. Maybe they found some fresh boards for me. How nice. Something like that, and then underneath it we'll see that there is like kelp farm here with kelp growing everywhere. Don't know. Something like this maybe works. All right, I think we're okay with the sketches. Let's just pick something. I'm currently really liking this idea of water farming with maybe like a little village or little individual farm for seaweed and fish. So let's maybe draw something along these lines. Let's just make it smaller, just to keep it there as a reference, I guess. How is it going, Schmilicopter? Are you building a Stardew Valley farm? You're drawing something? I know you're there. Maybe. Alright, so fish farm. Do we want to have guidelines? That's the question. Maybe not yet. Maybe let's just first start with some color blobs. I'm drawing, that's why I'm silent here. What are you drawing? A farm? So, this will be our water surface, I think. We can draw it from the side, but we can draw it in perspective. And perspective is usually harder, but it kind of looks cooler in a way. Not exactly a farm, a greenhouse cafe inspired by the one we've been yesterday. Yeah, I remember those Swedish farm greenhouse cafes. I think we either have been in one or we wanted to go in one. Can't remember exactly. Hey Schmelly. Smellycopter. Alright, let's sketch some houses, I guess. So one option would be to do it like this. Let's go on. Like this. With all that stuff. And then underneath maybe like some nets. Or we can draw it with a kind of like a bird's eye view. I think bird's eye view would be preferable. So to help us, let's just get a Prospective Grid. Let's just set it up. Hey brainy. Mozg in Russian means brain, for people who for some strange reason don't know Russian. So it could be something like this maybe. Yeah, I think this would do. That's what I like about digital drawing, I think, as well, that you can set up the guides much quicker than you would otherwise be able to do with pen and paper. Although I did it with pen and paper as well, and it helps. So I think as long as you know how to do it on paper. It's not cheating, look, it's just helping yourself with the tools that you have. So let's say our farm will be somewhere in this area. I also want it on paper. Yeah, that would be helpful. Although there is a trick. You can use threads. Thread perspective guide. I think like there is some what's the name? Like it's basically you take a piece of paper, you poke the holes through it in places where you have vanishing points, and then you put thread through it, like basically it's hard to describe, kinda. thread, perspective, drawing. Like if you take this image for example, the 3-point perspective. Imagine each point here, each vanishing point, these red dots, each of them is a hole in paper. Yeah, maybe you sent me a GIF. Somebody definitely sent me a Twitter post. I think it was Helicopter. Yeah, so theoretically you can even do it that way. But I also showed this trick with having a long piece of paper with guidelines already pre-drawn on it. That also helps. Kelps. Alright, so we'll have maybe this will be a pond in the middle. Stop it. Here will be like a house. Maybe goes until here. Could be a long one. Like this, so we have kind of like an outline for the house. Maybe there is a little platform in front of it with a boat on the side. Maybe like a bigger fisherman boat. I wonder if people who farm fish on a fish farm also go fishing. Something like this, and could be there's another little house of some sorts. Maybe not as little. Could be like a little storage room, maybe, or like a guest house. Guest house on the farm. Something like this. Could be like a little extra platform on this side for people to walk out. Something like this. It's fun. It's actually very nice trick to find the center. I already mentioned it a few times, but it proves itself helpful again. Like to find the center of the plane, you need to put the diagonal lines from corner to corner, and when where they intersect, this will be a median point for the sides, which is pretty neat. Maybe there is a bigger platform for like drying seaweed and maybe also drying fish. There could be like poles here. And here we will add a little bridge between the platforms, I think. Like this. Maybe here should be another boat on this side. Oh, whoops. I'm already painting on one layer, so need to be careful with deleting stuff. Alright, so we have this. Maybe there should be another little shed on this side for the ship, or like for the boat, like a little boat yard. Like that. You know, just a roof basically without the bottom part, the floor. There could be a ship standing there. Maybe it's too much ship work and like ship activity for a fish farm. Maybe fish doesn't like that. But nobody asks fish usually. And in general, nobody asks animals who are being farmed if they want to be farmed, so. Maybe there's another little fish thingy here. Since I want to make them circles, I really need the center, because that's how you fit the circle in the in the space. So I will do this. You can use a ruler for that actually. That also helps. Something like this, and then we can try to fit in the circles in there. Basically the trick is for the circle to touch the sides of the square, or at least if it looks like a square, then the ellipse would touch the sides. For instance, in this case, it's just a rectangular, it doesn't look like a square. So if you look on top of this thing from above, you would see not the square but something longer, like that. And then of course the circle within it will be not the circle but the ellipse, but it's a fish farm, you know. Now we just need to connect the dots where the middle line intersects with the sides of the squares. And also these quarter segments will be symmetrical diagonally. So if you do this here like this, it will look the same on this side, just diagonally across the center. And the same goes for these two diagonally on the sides. Fish reef. Fish reef. Could be the name of this farm. Fish reef farm. Sounds like by the amount of letters that are repeating after each other, it could be a Finnish word. Alright, we have our outlines. Let's just pick some darker pencil, I think, and make some thicker lines to make it more understandable what's going on. In Finnish, a fish reef would be kalariuta. The accent is on the first syllable always, right? Kalariuta. It also actually sounds pretty cool. Maybe we should call it kalariuta instead. Maybe it's a farm where Finland used to be. Let's outline the roof a little bit. Maybe the roof is an old upside down ship, or like a big boat that has been reused. Yeah, guys, if you want to share anything with the stream, you can easily do that. Just send the link in the stream or in the Discord. I will actually send the Discord link here. I think I have it set up. Let's see. Yeah. If you want, you can share something with the stream in Discord, and I will open it up. Or if you have Instagram where you draw and post stuff, feel free to share it as well. Maybe it's made with like huge fish bones as well, something like that. You know, sounds a bit strange, but who knows those people? Maybe we can add some sort of like a lantern here I don't know if it would be a good idea to put lanterns so close to the fish farm, because maybe we have to keep it dark or something. There could be like a little slide into the water, just for the ease of carrying the kelp up, maybe. Let's actually bring this out. As long as you have these, at least, you know, rough guides, you don't even have to draw everything. You just need like a few little guidelines in the right direction of the vanishing point, and from there you can do a lot just by adding more details around those guidelines. Might be a little bit easier digitally, of course, with these guides, but don't let it be the excuse for not drawing. This is like a main entrance, I guess. So there may be like a little staircase here into the water. I've never tried guidelines like this. I mean digitally or traditionally, or in any way. At some point I really like kind of got into perspective drawing, and that's why I kind of get interested in these perspective guides as well, and was drawing quite a lot with, like, most of the time I at least have a rough idea where the vanishing point needs to go, so that helps a lot. Let's make this a little narrower actually. Something like, maybe like that. In general, never. I used to hesitate with that because I always felt like I'm cheating if I'm using perspective guides. But you know, it's dumb to feel that it's cheating, I feel like, because they're there to make it look realistic, and they're there in the real world as well. Like it's basically just using the tools you have. And it really helps to also understand how stuff works, and you know, like where you need to make things smaller, where you need to make them bigger because of the perspective and all those little things. So I think it's actually really helpful. But you also mentioned, Onion, that you mostly did character designs, and I think when you're drawing characters, it's I don't know, I'm not drawing characters as much to have an opinion on that, but it seems like usually people don't draw that many guidelines when doing the character drawing. this would be an appropriate shape for the ship. It could be just a simple boat, maybe. Boats are not that easy because they have so many curves that have to go in the right direction. There could be this little boy. Hey, Pixel Props, welcome to the stream. How is it going there? Good morning. We're doing a fish farm today. It was supposed to be just kind of any farm, but here you can see a few explorative sketches that we did. It's already 7 minutes. Oh, it's already 7 minutes into afternoon. Depends on where you live. Still 11:07 here. Finishing my coffee, so doing okay. That's good. That just having a simple morning with some nice coffee is good enough. I feel like we often, or I will speak for myself, I often kind of rush and forget to appreciate these little things, like just sitting getting some coffee. It's morning somewhere. Well, they're just wrong. It's not allowed to have different time zones than those ones in Finland. If it's afternoon in Finland, it's afternoon everywhere. Maybe it's a good time to thank our sponsors for this stream. No, just kidding. Nobody sponsors this stream. I wanted to talk about our next phase of the summer of world building, because, you know, I wanted to have different topics for different months. So I mean, kind of the same topic, but you know, different parts of the world building, if you remember. And for July, you know, I thought we can do transport or vehicles, but it seems like it would be just mostly boats. So we can switch it up, you know. What do you guys want to, like? It would be cool if you draw along. So if you have some specific requests, we can discuss them right now or never. But right now would be good. Basically, I think maybe transport or characters or maybe props, pixel props, or any kind of props for this world, like items and stuff like that. Or we can do more landscapes if that's what we want. Jet skis as an option. We can do a whole month of jet skis, but that's kind of out of nowhere. I like it as an idea though. There are no wrong ideas during the brainstorming phase, so. Maybe they even have some plants here and there growing, like, which is not seaweed or kelp. Alright, so we have something like this. Was suggesting jet skis as a form of transport, as you said, only. Oh yeah, boats and jet skis. Characters, landscapes, plants. Plants. Where do plants come from? That's unexpected. Usually at this point I duplicate everything, hide the old stuff, and then just merge everything. Yeah, let's merge everything, because then it's easier to mix the colors. What's going on here? Come on, merge. Nice. So now I can just paint on one. Do you remember that movie Waterworld? Yeah, with Kevin Costner. Sure, it was a fun movie. What about it? Okay, let's pick some more like a woody color. This brush, I think I mentioned that it has like a sharp side and less sharp side, and that's why I turn sometimes canvas to use the sharp side on the left side. Studio NT says hi too. Hey, hello back to Studio NT. Was wondering where is she and how is she doing, but didn't want to ask it through you. So do I. Hey Hawks, welcome to the stream. We're playing around with some fish farming, also known as water Mad Max. I really like the makeshift boats they had in the movie, more like rafts. She's starting slow today. That's a good way to start the Sunday essay. Or at least one of the more appropriate ways to start a Sunday. Makeshift rafts and boats. Yeah, that could be actually really cool. Kind of like a junk boat made with just trash from other boats and little things that they could find. That can work. That can definitely work. Maybe transport is not as bad idea as I thought. Wrong layer. Doesn't matter right now. What's happening? Ah, there it is. yeah, we're trying to brainstorm what to do in July for summer world building. So pixel props, hawks, studio and T if you have any suggestions or wishes. My girlfriend's father made this nice boat for transporting wood into the island for building their new cottage. It's like a pier with a motor, so it really does double as a pier if needed. Genius. This is really smart, but truly, like, you don't have to, if it's a flat boat, you don't have to use it as a boat. You can just leave it next to the house and use it as a pier. True. Never thought about it, kind of. I mean, I never really had a boat or even a possibility to have one, but it sounds like a really cool idea. That's what's missing in the Netherlands, I think, the forests where you can just go, like, you know. It's funny that you casually just say that the transporting wood into the island to build a new cottage. It's like, what? Wood? Island? Cottage? In the island? In the woods? Is it possible? Sounds really fun. So transports, then we can have like makeshift boats and maybe some more flying things like we already had, and maybe like, what else? Underwater submarines? Nah, don't think so. Don't think they fit very well. Holland has forests now. It doesn't. That's the problem. that's my main complaint. Like, where are all the forests where you can go? They're all in Finland and Sweden. Let's pick some darker tone for this floor wood. It's isn't Holland also flat as heck? It's not only flat, it's also, a lot of it is technically underwater. So there's that. I feel like Hamburg has more forest than Holland. Not many hills or mountains. Yeah, they're in, I think the tallest mountain is like, it's not below the water surface, but it's probably somewhere in Caribbean Sea. So it's kind of very not really hilly here, and I guess that's why not that many forests. There is a big natural park in the middle, Villieu, I think it's called, or something like that. But I haven't been there yet, and it's like, you need to really drive there for hours. makeshift boats, makeshift zeppelins, and air balloons. But what else can we do? We can theoretically do characters, which I'm not really excited about because I suck at anatomy and character design. I think the southern part is also more green, maybe because it is near the part of Germany where it gets hilly and more natural. There are some, yeah, like the further you go south, the forestier it gets, I guess. But it's already very close to German border and Belgium and all that. Something like this, maybe. Let's paint the boat as well. We can also do some props, as I mentioned, which could be fun, but maybe it's something better for August. Characters, props, or vehicles. Is there anything else? Maybe interiors? We can kind of go through the stuff we did in the first month and do interiors for those houses. Characters for different jobs around the environments, clothing design for those jobs. Maybe that's a, yeah, that could be a good direction. I mean, character design is a dangerous direction for me in general, but might be fun. Yeah, if we say like drawing a character for this fishing farm could be interesting. Or for something like a this honey farm in the sky, something like that. Clothing design. That could be fun. Any progress, by the way, on your world, Onion? Now you will regret that you shared it with me. I will ask every stream, do you have any progress? But no pressure there, I'm just really curious. Let's deal with these circles a little bit. Kind of want to keep this like a circular line around them, because otherwise I feel like it's going to be hard to get what it means. Maybe I'll paint this floating bubbles in bright colors so they're more noticeable. But on the other hand, if you're farming right next to your house, you kind of know where your nets are. these are like these slopes in the water. The onion says, haven't had any energy or time to work on my art. Oh, feels bad, man. And now that I did have the weekend off, I'm having a bad time arting. This happens to me time to time, so I will just take some time off and come back to it. But I'm constantly playing around ideas about the world's culture. I think it's really good and important to not pressure yourself into arting if you don't feel like that, but kind of take it easy and maybe try even to have fun in that during that break, as you're doing, kind of with brainstorming some ideas and just letting your creative juices get back into shape in a way. I have this also from time to time when I'm like I can't make myself draw because just don't want to. And then sometimes I just doodle around, like I don't pressure myself into drawing something specifically. It's kind of like, a few days ago I just drew these two things, and it's completely not my style and kind of weird, but I didn't think about what I'm drawing and if it fits to what I usually do or whatnot, because it was just kind of mindless letting stuff out of your head on the paper in a way. Same for arting and farting. You push too much on humans that may not like the outcome. Yeah, I guess. True. But I mean, with farting, it's you never like the outcome, I think, or I mean, I can only speak for myself. But with art, I feel like I'm more happy with my art than with the other stuff. What a strange turn of the conversation. Let's add some lighter blobs of water here and there. Maybe it will make it more watery. Traumatage. Hello, PS. Where in the world are you? Hello, Traumatage. Traumatage. I'm in the world. I'm in the Netherlands. Where are you? And welcome to the stream, by the way. Hi. How is it going? Netherlands, very cool. Not far away from you in Sweden. Oh, nice. We have a whole Swedish art community here, I think. We have Pixel Props, we have Student, T and Hawks, and Schmelicopter. They're all living in Sweden. And now Traumatage. Cool. And that onion is also nearby in Finland. Nervin says, I finished my unicorn. It is fat and weirdly shaped, but for sure magical. You can show that. Can you send your unicorn to Discord, Nervin, to the art stream channel? So many Nordic people. You're also kind of Nordic. I mean, you're German. That's Germanic, like Swedish language. I shared in Telegram. Let's take a look. Do I have Telegram here? Sketchbook side notes. It is a very chubby unicorn, but I like it. I think it gives him a lot of personality. Look at those tiny front feet. He's super cool. Good job. Did you draw it from the book? A tanky unicorn. Yeah, he has just like he has a lot of magic in him. It's like, there is nothing wrong with that. You can be chubby on magic. And since like he's magical, right? If he would want, he would have changed his appearance. So if he feels comfortable the way he is, no need to body shame the unicorn, okay? I draw. Oh, sorry. Nervin says, yes, it was from the book. It looks more agile and athletic in it. You can share also the photo of the book unicorn if you want. Maybe someone else will also draw a unicorn from that book. Unicorns might like rainbows a little too much. Do you have any idea how many calories that is per day? Yeah, those unicorns. Do you think they eat rainbows every day? I thought they poop out rainbows and eat butterflies. But as we were talking just recently, insect farms, butterflies, it all fits together. Post-apocalyptic world farming and unicorns. Alright, let's see the... that's how it's in the book. I think I like yours more. This one is too snobby. Like, this unicorn looks like it's above all of it. Yours is like, yeah, I'm cool. Me too. Yeah, it's a much more characteristic unicorn. He likes his butterflies and he doesn't give a thing. Do you also draw a Traumatage? Because I haven't seen you before. Happy to have you on the stream. And if you want to share your Instagram or art, feel free to do that. While I'm just smearing around this paint. I try to learn, yes, many bad drawings. That's great though. The more bad drawings you make, the quicker you get to the drawings you actually like. Like, I think that's the trick, just to get through. You will always go through the boring, annoying, shitty part of learning a new skill until you get to the part where you actually enjoy it. So the only, like, the best thing I think you can do is just to make sure you don't lose the interest during that time and keep yourself motivated and basically keep having fun with it. So if you want to share any of your bad drawings, as you call them, you can share them in Discord or in Telegram or whatever. But no pressure though. I know that I also don't want to share all my art, or like sometimes I feel like it didn't work out the way I wanted, so it is fun, luckily. That's great. That's the most important part to keep. I think sometimes people expect too much from their art straight ahead and then lose interest. Whereas I think it's like with every skill, with climbing for instance as well. Like if you get the person interested in that thing, it doesn't matter if they have the right technique for climbing or not, as long as they're having fun, and you can learn the technique and everything later. You know, if you're motivated, it's much easier to learn, and you learn much quicker than if you're trying to force yourself to do something very specific that you think you should be able to do, you know. I think it's like with the art, it's a lot of pressure from the social media and like outside world, because you see only the best results of people. That's why I really like when people post their just like sketchy, rough ideas and thumbnails on Instagram, because like you can see then that everybody's learning and everybody's trying out stuff, and it never looks amazing from the first stroke. Like you always go through an iterative process on that. That was a long monologue from somewhere. Don't know where that came from. What are you trying to learn though? I think it's important also to have the goal, not necessarily like get paid or I don't know, be famous, but in terms of like self exploration. Like, do you want to learn how to draw characters or landscapes or I don't know, concept art or whatnot? That Onion says we're all great artists. The great art is just hidden behind all the bad ones. Yeah, in a way. And you know, that's another thing. There is no there is no such thing as bad art, like in the way, you know. Like it's I don't like when I say that. It sounds too kind of abstract and weird, but I mean it in the way that only the artist knows the intention of the art. Like only you who creates that knows how it was supposed to look, and only these expectations of how it was supposed to look and how it turned out to be is what makes you demotivated with the results. Other people don't have that because they're not the ones who do the drawing for you, so they judge it only from their perspective of what they see. Or I mean, sometimes they also judge it by the, like, I don't know, what you drew yesterday or whatnot. But That onion says, yeah, I wanted to edit that behind all the not great ones. Yeah. Then Traumatish says, learning more towards environments and sci-fi, but I think I'm just avoiding characters because it is difficult. But like Picasso, realism isn't always the most fun. I don't have an art goal. I think it's making my adventure, and I think it's making my adventure harder. I see. Yeah, I think having a goal really helps to at least not overthink what you draw or when you draw or how you draw. But sometimes you're just interested in everything, and that's also okay. Like it's hard, like you just need to be honest with yourself that you can focus on only that many things at once, right? So if you're focused on character design, you won't really be progressing that much in environments, and because you're just enjoying character design more and you do it more, and that's okay. Or the same with environments, you know, like yeah, I also don't draw characters that much because I suck at anatomy, and like I never really learned it well enough to feel comfortable doing that. But on the other hand, like I know that I'm not like I'm not afraid to draw characters. I can draw them and see how terrible they look, and it won't discourage me because it's that I know that it's just my current state. Of course, I don't know how to draw characters if I never draw them, but I don't have this I'm not that interested in drawing characters. I would rather think through a landscape and draw something like that, you know. So it's just a matter of personal preference as well, and being honest with what is interesting for you. And it sometimes isn't as easy as it sounds, you know, especially with some external pressure and all that stuff. Because, you know, with Picasso, it's and all those great artists, it's always tricky. They know how to draw realistically, you know. Like you learn the rules before you break them. Like with everything, you know, is as stupid of the analogy as it is with learning language, you know. When you're a kid, you're making mistakes and you're learning language, and you might not like that, but people will see and hear that you don't know like the grammar if you're trying to build your own sentences from the beginning, you know. Like if you're trying to write something with the language you don't yet know, people will see that, and it's okay if it makes you happy, and if it's fun, that's great. But it's also in a way, I don't know, like amateurish sounds harsh, but I don't mean it in a bad way. Like I think it just shows inexperience if you don't know like the fundamentals of the language. And the same with drawing. You can, if you know the perspective and like the basics of anatomy and how basically how stuff works, and then you can go wild and create, you know, Tim Burton style characters, because you will know like, oh, to make it creepy or to make it weird, I need to I don't know, make the eyes bigger, because, and I need to make them bigger by this much because that's how they, like, this is their normal size versus their increased size. But to do that, you kind of need to know what's the normal size of the eyes is compared to the rest of the face. You know what I mean? Like, to make it, to put it in cubism, you need to understand the relationship, and to understand the relationship, you kind of need to learn the boring stuff in a way. Picasso was an incredible draftsman. Seen some of his realistic stuff too, so I know what you mean with the learning the rules first. I think Picasso would like your airship. Oh, that airship. I hope he would. I don't know if he would, but I wish I could show him. I kind of like the messiness of this picture. I don't like that it's messy, but it's consistently messy, so that's kind of helping a little bit, I guess. Let's make some highlights. Environments and sci-fi. We were doing environments whole June, so maybe we'll do characters next with clothing, and if you want, you can join along and suffer together through not knowing how to draw characters. Maybe we can ask Schmelikopter to do a masterclass on characters. Her characters always look pretty cool. That on Traumatage asks, that Onion, what would you like to be able to do in art? That's a good question. That Onion, if you join Discord Traumatage, you will see some of the character art, that, like, sketches that Onion that Onion posted there. They're pretty cool. And to join Discord, you might need links. Let's see. Exclamation mark. Links. Ta-da! And then we have here in Discord, we have this stream art share, and Solar Fun also was participating a few times. And wait, that's it? We have more in art. There are some Studio NT socks, but yeah, there is some cool necromancer art and like these doodles and thumbnails. Really fun stuff. That one says, I started doing art more just to be able to put my ideas on paper better, but I achieved that goal in only 6 months. Since then I have been just doodling really, so right now I'm just getting better without a real aim, just shooting in the woods, you know. And this is fine to an end. Yeah, that both makes sense and sounds familiar. I think drawing is super cool skill to have. Huh. Welcome to Discord. That onion shared something new. Let's see. Woo. It's a steampunk samurai coal miner worker. Did I guess right? Samurai miner? Looks really nice. Or maybe it's not a miner, it could be a fire brigade person. I think they also sometimes have pickaxe. Samurai miner. It's just me trying to connect, but it's not launching the app, working in it. Ah, I see. No worries, no rush. Like for me, I think it's also mostly learning how to express ideas, and that's probably the main goal for me with art. I just want to be able to draw whatever I have in my head, and I'm really far from that yet. Like I'm kind of just starting out, and because I'm just starting out, the stuff that I draw usually doesn't feel right because it's not what I have in mind. It's just some scribbles. But I don't know, as long as it's not encouraging, and keep in mind that it's a progress and a process. Hey, Vanity's Fall, welcome to Discord. Yeah, so as long as you keep kind of at least some sort of direction in the mind, you know, like, hey, I want to, like, I have this idea in mind that I want to draw, and I can't draw it because I don't have the skills yet. And then you just keep drawing and trying until you kind of find the skills for that, you know. And you learn a lot of stuff along the way. Maybe you learn that you don't actually want to learn that, or that it's not as interesting as you thought. Which is also fine. This probably would be much brighter, these the ones that stand in front of everything, the poles. Something like that. I'm back. Looks cool. Thanks, Helicopter. Welcome back. How is your progress going? Are you ready to share something with the rest of the group? Just kidding. Looks kinda empty, right? Like it doesn't have any human elements to it. I think I'll maybe add another layer on top. Just to add some more fun elements. Maybe there's a flag here. No, I'm back to drawing. Oh, where were you all this time? Maybe another one is yellow flag. Couple of flags here and there. Maybe make some of these things in the water also, like popping up. What else can we add? Obviously we can add some details to the boat. Something like that maybe. Oh, I think I missed the vertical line by a mile. It's because often I have my image tilted and then I'm thinking like this is vertical, but it's not. Let's use the drawing assist again. Maybe I can add some highlights here as well. Discord that we have is usually kinda, there's not much happening, but you're welcome to share your art and just thoughts and feedback and all that stuff. So maybe we need some sails. Schmelicopter says, making eating brunch, telling a listener to throw pieces of brunch all over. It's very brunch morning, I say. That's what I like about Discord. Low traffic, so I can keep up here. Yeah, that's a good thing about Discord. Like the social media is just too much, especially if you want to follow all the people. It's just getting crazy at some point. Just checking the straightness of these. That's another thing I'm trying to kind of keep in mind, you know, I'm using the guides, but I don't want my art to look stale and boring. So, and plus it's like it's all kind of human made junk yard kind of style. So it kind of needs to be wonky and wobbly, but I also want it to be accurate in a way. So I will draw all these poles with the guides and then break them without guides. You know what I mean? And I think I kind of mean the same with like learning the rules first and then being able to break them much more consciously. Traumatish says, has Instagram been good for you, or is it mainly a source of stress and guilt, not uploading often enough, etc., etc.? Well, that's a good question. I think for me it's mostly stress. I think you really need to keep up the schedule if you want to grow or like get anything there, and you need to basically like upload daily and stuff like that, which I was doing much more regularly last year, but I don't know, this year it's kind of too much to also care about that thing. Plus it, I don't know, I just didn't keep up with the schedule, I think, long enough to get anywhere, and kind of don't want to stress about it now. How about yourself? Do you also have Instagram for art? Okay, let's get some nicer music. Helicopter says, stupid Instagram. I haven't been posting for a while and lost a lot of followers. Never tried Instagram, so I thought I'd ask you, but I do think it would be very stressful. I'm kind of getting into the new. I think it just depends on the mindset, and I think you just need to have the right mindset from the start. Like, don't expect much, and I think it's just good to keep posting for yourself, you know, just for keeping the progress of your art in one place. I think like that's why I kind of like posting there, but I also feel like just posting art without any like, commentary or adding any, you know, reasons how and why, or like what did you want to say with this, is, I don't know, feels weird. And if you don't add hashtags, nobody will see it, and I think some part of me of course also wants to be seen, so there's this conflict kind of all the time. But if you don't, like, if you set your attitude straight from the beginning that you're doing it to keep your progress in one place and be able to scroll down and see how much you improved in the year, I think it's a really like a really good tool. Like, it, I can, even though I'm not posting regularly, I can look back a year ago, look at my watercolors and see like, oh, back then I didn't do this, or I couldn't, like my lighting sucked and now it's much better. Maybe maybe it's not better, but you know what I mean, right? Traumatized says, and it's a strange world when the world's help organizations posts there, they get 44,000 likes and sat there wondering, well, that's nice, but what are we gonna do with these? Yeah. When the World Health Organization's posts. Wait, if you discover, oh no, my drawings from 2 years ago was so much better. That depends on how often you draw, of course, but if you draw it even weekly, you will see the improvement as long as you want to improve. You know, there are people who are drawing something and they're happy with the way they draw it. You know, they know that it's not perfect, or they don't know, and they're just happy with whatever they have, and that's fine. I think like it's like everybody have their own needs. Like some people need prestige and likes, some people just need critique, some people need just to have fun, you know, or express their inner ideas. So I think that part is really depends on you, but as long as you keep practicing, you will see improvement. And in the very unlikely scenario when you will look at it and see, oh, last like 2 years ago my drawings were so much better, if you really want to like improve, you should ask yourself why they were better. Like what was better about them? Maybe they had more character. Like they can't have more technique as if you keep practicing for 2 years. You will improve the technique no matter what. So don't like this tangent here. You see the line here with the rail kind of matches the line of the bottom of the house, which creates this tangent, which means two lines look like they're connected where they're not, and we can easily fix that if we just, as long as we notice these tangents, we can kind of easily fix them by moving one of the lines lower or higher. Something like that. Traumatized Schmelikopter. Have Instagram been good for you, perhaps, despite the stress? Oh yeah, Schmelikopter is a success story of Instagram, I think. Even if she's complaining right now about not posting. She got like, I think 1,500 followers in half a year, I think. And also some job related contracts stuff. Maybe she can tell it better if she's here. And maybe she has a different point of view also, because you know, like from the outside it looks really cool, but maybe for Schmelikopter it was more stress than worth it. Oh no, it was very good. I got commissions from there and met some good people. Yeah, so it's not only stress, it's kind of also the good stuff. I think it really depends on what you're trying to get out of it. If you want to keep it as a progress tool, that's the easiest thing. If you want to get commissions, you need to post really regularly, basically like daily or a few times a week, and be relevant. If you really want to have it as a business thing, you need to like stay relevant and look what hashtags people use and which things are trending, and kind of be on top of that. But Yeah, that's it. Don't know where I'm going with that. Let's just merge everything, whatever. Who cares? Can't merge anything. Come on, merge. Finally. Shrimp Helicopter says also some time ago I joined a lot of challenges on Instagram and they helped me improve a lot. Did they help you improve your Instagram stuff or your art or both? Let's put a dirty green cloth on here. As if this is not a roof but like a little tent. Something like that. Let's just add a little highlight as well, maybe. Alright, let's clean this up a little bit and I think wrap this stream for today. Some of us still haven't had their breakfast or brunch. Some of us had brunch and even had an ability to throw it around as it seems. Helicopters, as they help me to draw more regularly and regular practice helps to improve drawing skills. Makes sense. Also, they help to gain followers and find other creatives to follow. So I'd say both. Yeah, makes sense to me. Art before breakfast? You're very brave, sir. I think I just got lucky with not getting hungry in the morning. I don't know how that works and why, but for some reason I'm just not getting hungry. Maybe if I do breakfast before art, it will help me improve quicker. Maybe that's why I'm stuck just doing art at the wrong time. I love looking through your Pinterest board of references. So many wild and crazy ideas. Hey, thanks. That's why I shared it, because I think I used to have this kind of project where I would post daily or weekly tasks, so my friends and I can draw like the same thing and have a week to draw it, or a few days, and then share it and talk through it, or like comment on that and stuff like this. Didn't last that long, and it was also kind of like draining, but I created a lot of Pinterest boards for that, and that was really helpful to just not it. I think gathering those references really helps to not overthink and like get you going. You don't have to invent stuff, you can just start already from somewhere. And I think it's true with a lot of stuff that you often want to start from scratch, whereas you can already start from something. And if you start from scratch, the first thing, or like the basically the top of the level where you can get is like good enough. But if you're starting from something already, like if you're starting from good enough, then the kind of the first thing you will get is already great, you know. I think that's why all these references, they kind of help keep, like, just get you a start into creating. Because if you just draw from the references, it's still creating, it's still art, it's still your kind of take on that, and you can just get it and, I don't know, put a random attribute to it, and then it's already your own, and you just keep adding stuff and making it more and more yours. Can't help but get inspired when you look at all the cool art. It's like a seed for more ideas, which leads me to think it's important to surround yourself with lots of fun art, fan art. Yeah, I think it's important to surround, like, it goes even more general than art, right? Like, you just need to consciously surround yourself with stuff that makes you happy at the end of the day, that either helps you move forward towards your goal, or that just helps you enjoy where you are more. And it goes about everything. Like, it's, people are the same. Like, why surround yourself with people who irritate you and, you know, make you suffer at the end of the day, where you can surround yourself with people who make you happy, and, I don't know, or who help you get better at something, at being yourself. I don't know. That kind of got deep really unexpectedly, but I think it is important to surround yourself with lots of fun art, and with the art that inspires you and that resonates with you, or that shows the stuff that you want to be able to do. And that I kind of monitor my Instagram feed with this in mind from time to time, because sometimes I just follow random stuff, whereas, like, which doesn't give me any like satisfaction or doesn't inspire me, and then I ask myself, well, why am I doing this then? Let's just add some flags here and there, I guess. Where else can we add it though? Maybe if we make these poles taller. Doesn't work for some reason. Let's make some yellow flags this time. trying to make them triangular. And maybe another color would be this green. I feel like these little details add a lot of human feel to the thing. I don't know if it will stay until the end, these flags. Maybe later I will remove them, but I feel like they add a lot, kinda. Sir, add a lot. Alright, I think it's a good time to stop here, get some food, and maybe work a little bit more on that later. We'll see. But for now, thank you very much for joining in, guys. Don't forget to follow if you want to get notified when I go live next time, and most likely it's gonna be in a week, next Sunday, as always. I hope you have a good day, have a good week, and don't forget to love each other. Don't know where that came from. Anyway, have a good week, everybody. Bye bye. Thanks for stopping by.